Hey, it's Slashum. I've been away for a while, but I returned to WoW Classic for Hardcore. If you're interested in more content, please help me out by subscribing to this channel, and you can also watch me stream live on Twitch at twitch.tv/slashum. My latest adventure was none other than the OTK $100,000 Mak'Gora tournament. If you aren't familiar with what this was, it was a duel to the death. Winner-take-all all tournament that took place during the month of October, with the finals occurring on Halloween. At the end of the tournament, all the finalists would be dead except one, the winner, who takes home $50,000. The rest of the money was split between the top player from each of the 8 classes: warrior, priest, rogue, warlock, hunter, mage, druid, and shaman. Since the tournament was on Horde side on the Skull Rock server, there were no paladins. There weren't many rules to the tournament, except that you had to make a brand new level 1 character starting on October 6th, and you had until October 30th to get to 60, get geared, and fight for your life and $50,000. Simple enough, right? Wrong. There was not only a diverse set of skills required to be successful in this tournament, but also a massive amount of time, mental determination, and luck, RNG, required to be competitive. This isn't my story, but the story of the shadow priest who entered the tournament and made it to the qualifying round. So what skills are needed to actually win a tournament like this? Let's take a quick look, because leveling fast without dying is just the start. You need the meta game knowledge to build a best in slot gear list, PvE skill to acquire the best in slot gear without dying, metagame knowledge to acquire the proper items, enchants, and consumables, auction house trading, selling, and flipping skills to acquire and manage gold quickly, a bit of luck and good RNG, and lastly the PvP skill and technical ability to use your class and items to the fullest. We also can't neglect the elephant in the room, which is streamer privilege. All the big streamers would leverage all of their influence to acquire gold, power leveling services, items, enchants, and personal guilds and raid groups that would be at their beck and call. Many people complained about this aspect of the tournament, but I like being an underdog and just accepted the fact that the deck was stacked against me. I was going to do this tournament natural, just like Zico, but I did have an agent who was in the biggest guild in the server, Degenerate. Not only was his help crucial to my success, but he would report on the quote-unquote knob slobbling and deriding that his guild was doing for certain streamers.
I will never be straight, I can back that.
I also had my old raid leader Nad to give 5 head strats like stacking shadow resistance gear, which would prove to not only be a massive waste of time and expense, but also cause me to lose a crucial duel. Now let's look at the 3 big phases to this tournament and how I got through them. The first phase is the leveling phase. Simply put level to 60 as fast as possible without dying. This is not as easy as it sounds, especially if you are leveling solo without any help. It not only requires you to be fast and efficient, but also not make any mistakes or take too big of a risk that would cause your character to die. I fortunately learned this lesson in the first few hours of the tournament when I lost my level 19 priest to a Defias pillager, one of the mobs so deadly it has a server named after it. This was a harsh setback, but I rebounded and, as they say, go again. The second phase is the gearing phase. It's just as much, if not more, of a grind than the leveling phase, because you will be subjected to running the same dungeons and raids over and over again in hopes of your best in slot item dropping and winning the role. There would be days where a 14-hour gear grinding session would result in 0 loot. The third and final phase was the tournament itself, which was broken into 2 parts. A qualifying round where every competitor who was level 60 and still alive would do a normal duel to make it to the finals. The final was the actual Mak'Gora, where every competitor would duel to the death for $100,000. Journey really started after Slashum died at level 19. R.I.P. Bozo. The journey to 60 was rather uneventful, just full of min-maxing and playing WoW Hardcore Classic to the most degenerative levels possible, pushing you to your mental, physical, and emotional limits. I wasn't pooping in a sock, but I was skipping meals, sleep, training at the gym, and basically every other aspect of life possible in order to grind on this character, which I could lose at any second. This didn't stop until the tournament was over, 24 days later. My agent, who is the best mage I've ever played with, way better than that other mage Nad, gave me 10 gold, some runecloth bags, and it was off to the races. The journey was exactly what you would expect from a solo player, but I did get to complete my favorite quest in WoW Classic, Tuga's quest. Tuga is a turtle that has gotten lost in the far southwest corner of Tanares. This is a problem considering he lives with his wife Torta on the shore in the northeast corner of the zone. The quest is to escort Tuga home safely to his wife Torta across the zone in under 30 minutes. It's rather easy to do, but I always look for Tuga whenever I am out questing in Tanaris. You should too. I did get a stroke of luck while leveling when I was doing my Timbermaw rep farming. It is required to get honored with the Timbermaw to be able to purchase the Furblog medicine pouch, a key item for dueling. During my time leveling and farming, a Myrmidon's signet dropped for my group. This ring is a best in slot, epic BOE for a lot of classes at 60. It carries a big price tag.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of gold.
Winning the roll on that ring meant I would likely be able to get even better gear and all of the consumables I would need. Hours turned to days and quests turned to levels as I slowly and consistently grinded up to level 59. It was here, at the tail end of a 15-hour stream, where I executed the second part of my strategy to acquire my best in slot gear. I respects my priest to holy. This would allow me nearly instant access to heal any dungeon or raid I wanted to get the gear I needed. This proved to be true, where I would get instant invites to heal groups with legends like Savix, Peyo, Zico, Snuts, Sea-Doo, Bean, and others. With that, I was off to my first real test, the deep core of Black Rock Mountain BRD. It was slow and steady, but in the infamous torch room, things almost came to an end. We finally killed the Emperor, saved the princess, and finished my first major dungeon. It didn't stop there. I was level 59 and needed to hit 60. I pushed through my exhaustion and headed to one of the most dangerous places in Azeroth, Stratholme. Our group cleared the live side and then the dead side, but it wasn't until attempting Baron Riven Dare that I realized just how dangerous it was to be in this dungeon at level 59 in a hardcore setting. We made it out unscathed, and it was worth the risk in the end. A few quests later, I safely hit level 60, surrounded by roaches in Undercity. It was time for some sleep. After a short break, I was back at it again, grinding dungeons non-stop until I could acquire all of my gear. From the dungeons I had already run before 60, I had acquired a sizable amount of healing gear, and I was now one of the most geared holy priests in the tournament. This was great for safely healing through PvE content, but if I didn't get my shadow gear for the tournament, I was gonna be in a world of hurt. This was an interesting phase of the tournament, and while frustrating at times, probably the most fun. Getting to group with rank 1 players and top streamers does have its perks, but it also has its downsides. Sometimes competitors would roll on your gear just so you couldn't have it. One of the mages did this twice to me. Grouping with fellow competitors was a fine balancing act of helping each other just enough to get what you needed. After all, we would be trying to kill each other in a few days. But grouping with popular streamers also had other risks, especially when that streamer is Bean. You see, Bean is infamous. I was warned about him by my friend who said he would kill anyone for content, and that he did.
These fucking idiots. Dude. Bro. What? I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. I don't know what you, like... Fuck, that's annoying. Dude,
I'm not sure what his body count was leading to the tournament, but I knew grouping with him carried a sizable amount of risk. On one fateful night, Bean decided to try to kill me for content.
This is gonna be really awkward with that, by the way. Oh my god, if you spawn, we're dead. Dead. Run! Oh god, my boys are about to die. No, I'm fine, dude. Yo, you gotta fucking run, bitch. I'm giving you pack. No, I'm not griefing them, dude. Yo, alright, so listen, I'm gonna feign death. You keep running, my boy. Yo, you gotta keep running, my boy. You gotta keep running, trust me. Oh god. Yeah, leave your group. Dude, please tell me you have a Petri if you need it, dude. Please tell me you have a Petri. I'm gonna go get my doctor. Oh god, dude. My pet despawned. I went too early. I fucked up. I'm not to rush. Dude, please don't die, Oom. I'm serious. I fucked up and then like I didn't know how to tell them that they needed to go. I mean I did. Hold on, bro. My inventory's full. Calm down.
Saw the biggest pack ever.
Yo, I'm out. Oh, is he out?
Yo, there's someone looking for LDRS right now. Shoulder job, by the way?
No, they didn't. I want to go die.
But instead, all he got was an epic run-in close call that will be remembered for the ages. Getting gear turned out to be one of the longest and most grueling grinds of the tournament. I can't remember just how many times I ran Skolomance with Sea-Doo, but it was a lot. I still don't think he ever got his pants. In all of the dungeons and raids I ran, there was only one death, the fresh 60 mage Yurtgate. It happened in Stratholme when he tried to use Arcane Explosion in melee range of a lot of skeletons. R.I.P. Bozo. I also had the privilege of escorting Snuts through Nomergon while he tried to get the helm off the last boss. He was offering tips for any healer to be his bodyguard, so I decided to help. In the end, he didn't get the helm and stiffed me. That's pretty cold snuts. The gear grind took much longer than I expected, and I was running out of time. I still had a lot of chores left to do before the tournament, which was acquiring necessary consumables, shadow resistance gear, and other items. Every hour and day I lost was less time I would have to focus on the most important aspect of the tournament, dueling. I hadn't actually played a Shadow Priest since Season of Mastery, and I definitely needed the practice, but getting the best gear was equally as important. There were also two very important trinkets which are extremely hard to attain but provide a competitor with an insane advantage. The Title Charm and the Arena Grand Master trinket. AGM was out of sight for most players, as this required many bodyguards to protect your character in the Gurubashi arena 12 times to complete the trinket. Only a handful of the biggest streamers had this type of pull. Title Charm was also extremely difficult to get. It drops off a rare spawn named Prince Nazyak, who spawns in the Drowned Reef in Arathi Highlands. He has a very long respawn timer of at least 32 hours. Even with realm layering, it would be tough, especially when most of the big streamers had him scouted and timed on each layer. They all had the charm and would protect it so others couldn't get it. Even if you did manage to find Prince up and get the tag, he only had a 50% chance to drop the trinket. I had farmed him once before on a level 39 hunter. It took me 3 kills. I was lucky. In the end, I simply ran out of time. I never got my chest piece and wasn't able to finish getting all my consumables or practice dueling at all. I was going into the tournament cold, but I remembered something the day before the tournament, something that many other people likely had not considered. There had been a random server reset on Saturday night. This might not seem like a big deal, but it meant something very important. You see, server resets also reset the timers of rare spawns, which meant that I now had the spawn timer for Prince Naziak. Based on the server reset, 32 hours later would be exactly 1 o'clock a.m. the morning of the tournament. I stayed up till 1 o'clock a.m. and decided I would wait a couple of hours to see if Prince would spawn. There was no guarantee he would spawn before the tournament. He could end up spawning hours after it started. But at just after 2 o'clock a.m., my hit scan alert went off. I popped my swim speed potion and swam into one of the pirate ships to get the tag. My heart was racing as I went through the window in the ship's hull. I had my 6 Demon Bag trinket equipped, so I had an instant cast spell to use. The 6 Demon Bag can cast many schools of magic and can very rarely cast the spell Polymorph, and that's just what it did. I watched in near disbelief as the Naga before me got transformed into a sheep. I quickly dispatched him, looted the corpse, and nearly shouted when the title charm appeared in the loot window. I quickly linked it in guild chat to the surprise of everyone still awake. I calmed down, logged out, and tried to sleep for a few hours before the tournament started. A few hours later, it was time to start the first day of the tournament. I was on fumes. My reaction time was shot, but I felt confident and prepared as I could be. I was still on a dopamine and adrenaline high from getting title charm. My first duel was against a mage named Salty. The duel started off well with a Goblin Rocket helm opener, full dispels, and full hots to force an ice block, but it quickly went downhill from there. My spec was not designed for the sheer amount of instant cast spells I would be using, and once I got behind, I was not able to ever recover. I made a crucial mistake when I tried to reset, giving Salty the opportunity to get a full evocate. Salty unfortunately did not last long in the tournament, and tragically died the next round when his Goblin Rocket Boots malfunctioned, killing him. R.I.P. Bozo. The second round was against a shaman named Big Sad. He made this tune after his first one died around level 30. In the end, the pressure from his purges and totems proved to be too much, and I was down 0 and 2. The third duel was a mirror match against another Shadow Priest. This was a very crucial duel because only the top priests would make it to the finals, so winning a duel against your own class was very important. I put on my SR gear and got ready. Now I could blame the fact that SR gear was bugged or the 2 fears that got resisted on my loss. But at the end of the day, it's simply a skill issue and I need to get good. The fourth round ended abruptly when the Elemental Shaman Mox Jewels hit me with some fat wombo combo crits. The last and final round I got a bye from a warrior who was a no-show, so my final tournament record was 1 and 4. Even though the tournament was over for me, there was one last thing to do. I needed to duel Bean. It wasn't a bad duel, and if I had actually keybound my Poison Dispel elixir, it was winnable. In the end, I was honored to fight him and sit in his traps for 30 minutes. Even though I wasn't happy with my personal performance in the tournament, and it left me exhausted, it was a great event. I had a lot of fun, made some new friends, and got to participate in the biggest WoW Classic tournament of all time. Out of the 2,500 players who registered for the tournament, only 150 made it to the qualifiers. The OTK organizers put on a really great event that will only get better in the future. So, was it worth it? Would I do it again? I honestly can't say. Now stands shamefully on the bank in Orgrimmar, a competitor who sought blood in the arena and a desire to kill and be killed in glorious combat and got neither. There was only one thing left to be done. One box left to check. One last chance for a glorious death in combat, the Arena Grandmaster charm. So here waits, every 3 hours, seeking a worthy opponent to send to their death.